Hello, you're welcome to today's video. And today's video, we'll be talking about Nigerian players that have stood out this past, and that stood out in yesterday's Champions League fixtures and other stories as well. I'll be discussing, and we'll be having some panelists join us for join us today later on, if possible. But if not, we'll keep going because I think the link went out late, a bit late today. So, but that's fine. So let's go straight into it today. So, Ethan Nwaneri, the player I've mentioned, I've talked about, so many times, and I've said he's one player that I would want the Nigerian FA, Nigerian Football Federation. I want Eric Tail to invite and get included in his team. I know he is 17 going on 18, so a lot of people say he's too young, but he is a wonder kid. He is very, very special. Just like you have Lamine Yamal in Spain, you have Raphael Willian, in Brazil, playing for Palmeiras and still being invited to play for the Brazilian national team. So for me, I want to see him in national team. The Arsenal player was phenomenal. He saw his strike, amazing strike. And for Arsenal fans, I'm sure he's almost getting them to not feel the absence of Bukayo Saka too much. That even pains me to say Bukayo Saka because that's a player that should have played for Nigeria, but he played for England. So that's one that, sort of we let go, that escaped, slipped through our grasp. But the NFF, I'm not sure they were too serious about it. But, that's one area I think is someone that should be brought in the national team. But because he's special, he's a special, special player. And I know when he was given his first team debut for Arsenal at 16 years by Arteta, everyone was on Arteta's back. Oh, why are you playing him? He's so young, such a young player. But he's proven that he is a special talent. And I think he's one player that would work so well in the Chelsea's formation. I think he would work so well if you're going with 4-3-2-1, 4-3-1-1-2. He would work so well in that 10 role. If you're going with the 4-2-3-1, he would work so well in any of those three positions behind, the striker. I think he'll be an amazing addition, in my own opinion. I don't know what you think. And after fans, let me know what you think about Ethan Nwaneri. Is this someone you're loving? Is this someone you think, yes, he can take the spot of Bukayo Saka? Or what happens when Bukayo Saka comes back? Is this someone you're thinking can still be in the team or would have to sit out this time on the bench? But for me, from a Nigerian perspective, I think he's someone that, would make it into Nigerian Super Eagles and should be invited. I don't want any excuses about age, about he's too young, about the nationality business. Get him invited. Look at what Congolese are doing. Look at what the Moroccans are doing. They're getting their talents, and this AFCON is one that the Nigerian Super Eagles should win. If you have the right talent, you're going to win the AFCON. I think we have a lot of talents. Bukayo Saka is one of them. There are other talents I'll talk about today as well that we should be looking at. Ethan Nwaneri, and then Raphael Onyedika, another favorite of mine that I've been crying for. I said, please give him some game time. He's already been invited to the Super Eagles. He's had some game time. He's played, but I have always wanted him to have more game time. He scored against Manchester City for Club Brugge, but unfortunately, as expected, they ended up losing the game 3-1. But his display in the midfield, his blocks, his tackles, his passing range and goal as well. Beautiful, well-taken goal. And he's shown that for the Super Eagles as well. The game against Benin Republic, the away leg, he scored a beautiful goal as well. Later on into the box, got those goals. And that's one of the things I've always pointed out when I talk about this three-man midfield. If you're going with the 3-4-3 and you play with a two-man midfield, or you're playing with this new sort of formation 4-3-1-2, you're playing with a three-man midfield, you need someone who has the ability to go both ways, as can defend, can attack, and can contribute with goals. Has that enormous tank as well. To do all that. So for me, I think he's someone that should be given more game time. I know some people will be saying he will be should play. For me, he will be. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong. He's a good player. but he's not super fantastic. He's not super fantastic. He's not that good that you would say, okay, let you be a luxury player on the pitch because we know you're not going to really put in that much defensive shift. So, but we know you're magical on the ball. You can create goals. You can create assists. You can score goals. You can give assists to create goals out of nothing. You can carry the team on your back in an attacking sense, like an Eden Hazard, for instance. But he doesn't have that. He's okay, but he's not good enough to take up the spot of the line, to be given a spot where a role where he's not defending. And he will be, for as good as he is, he's not really, really good at doing the defensive part of a midfielder. And so I think he's someone that would just miss out, in my opinion, if I was to select. But who knows? Eric Chell would always come up with his own own style as well. And then I want to talk about Teller, Nathan Teller. Nathan Teller for me should by all means be invited again. I know he was invited once. He came in and wasn't really used by Pesero, and then he was invited again by Augustin Eguavon. But he said he had some family issues and therefore couldn't, play, and had to I think return back to the UK, and that was it for him. The rest of the qualifying series, I think he's someone, because he's proven now that he's not only a skillful a skillful player with flair, but he's also showing that he has the ability to, score goals as well. So he scored the second goal in the Bayer Leverkusen versus Sparta Praha game that sort of sealed the win. And incidentally, that was against Victor Latunji's side. So for me, I think Teller is someone that should be invited again to the national team. Victor Latunji, I think he's gone off the boil just a little bit, but I still think he has a lot to offer the Super Eagles, and is one that people should be having a look at and have an eye on. Now back to Ethan Nwaneri. He won man of the match in that Champions League game, and when you're beginning to win man of the match accolades and trophies in Champions League fixture, then that means you're becoming serious business. And like I've said with every other young player that's eligible to play for Nigeria, you don't want to play this game of, oh, he's too young, we're going to wait till he's 20 before he plays for us. No, this is the opportunity you have to get him on board. This is the opportunity you have to get him committed to the Super Eagles. This is the opportunity you have to get him to play for Nigeria. What you tell him is, Ethan, we want you to play for the Super Eagles for the first team, and he'll be on board. Most of these players, they want to play for the first team. They want to play for the Super Eagles. I know for some people, the talk could be about, oh, but he's very young, so why would he even be considered to play for the senior team? Well, it's all about strategy, in my opinion. It's all about what you want to achieve at the end. You want to get him committed, you want to get him cap-tied, and therefore committed to playing for you in the long term. And you know what? You don't have to give him 90 minutes. You don't have to give him 60 minutes. You can give him 20, 15. And in those 15 minutes, if he proves himself to be, a game changer, a fantastic player contributing with goals and assists and being creative on the ball, then you've won. Then you can begin to give him more minutes. So for me, I think he's someone that should be looked at seriously, in my opinion. And then another excellent performer, I've talked about Raphael Onyedika, wonderful. He played very well, got the goal. And now I want to talk about this guy, Tolu Arokodare. Tolu Arokodare, there are news, rumors, or reports, whatever you want to call it, that Benfica are interested in his services. And for me, I think that would be a splendid move for him. Because for me, this is the way I rank the leagues in Europe. You have the Premier League and La Liga, then you have the German Bundesliga, then you have the French League, and then you have Premier League, La Liga, you have the German Bundesliga, you have the Portuguese League, and then you have the French league. So for me, for him to move to a club that are the top of, I'll say, one of the clubs in the top four leagues in Europe is very, very good, because that takes him to a high level, and that means he will be involved in Champions League games, and at the very least, he will be involved in Europa League games. So, and that would be more spotlight on him, testing himself against better competition than he is at the minute, and that he'll just even shine even more. So I think that's a good news for him. Now, could be a good move for him. I wonder, what do you think about this report linking him to to a move to Benfica? For me, I think that's fantastic news in my opinion. And then we have to talk about Victor Boniface. Although I know I'll talk about this in another video, probably will come up tomorrow. I'll be focused mainly on transfer, but I have to talk about Victor Boniface. Now, he had this move, the reports of him moving to Al Nassr. He had passed the medicals and was looking forward to pairing up with Cristiano Ronaldo in the Saudi Pro League. And for me, I was happy. Happy in one sense that at least he gets to play Ronaldo. But for me, there were two sides to the discussion. I know we had several people who were coming up with different sort of opinions to say, oh, the money's so big, you have to move to Saudi Pro League, about 25 billion naira, and about 65 billion naira. That's such a large amount of money, and it should move compared to what is earned at the minute. That is uncomparable. It should move. Incomparable. It should move. And then you had people who were saying, "Oh, why is he going? Why is he taking the money? He should stay back in Europe and play in the European competitions." Now, for me, my opinion is this, or was this, and still is. Now, you can go to the Saudi Pro League, but one thing you must understand, in my opinion, is unfortunately, this is the case. I hope it wasn't so, but this is the case. If you are a Nigerian player at this minute, if you are a black player at this minute, if you go to a league like the Saudi Pro League and you want to come back to the Premier League, to the Bundesliga, to any of the top European leagues, it's going to be very difficult for you to do, because the entire narrative around you would be you're a mercenary, it will be you're greedy, it will be you just want money. And that will tarnish your image so badly that you would not be able to make that move back, because teams will be looking at you with a different lens and from a different perspective. So, like Victor Boniface, if you want to go to Al Nassr and you have your heart set to say, doesn't matter, I'm here to make the money, I'm going to play there and as much as I can and whatever, and that's it, that's fine. But if you have that intention that you still have something to do in any of Europe's top leagues, then you stay put and don't leave. And don't leave Europe at the minute. So, but as it turns out, Al Nassr were also interested in the services of Jean Duran. They had also had an offer accepted by Aston Villa, and they've done the medical as well. And then they decided to go with Jean Duran, the Colombian international. So that's it. So it means Victor Boniface will stay with Bayer Leverkusen. In fact, he's resumed training with his teammate at Bayer Leverkusen. For me, I think there are two sides to this. He gets to still play in Europe. He can achieve things he wants to achieve, and that's good. But one piece of advice to not just Victor Boniface, but to other professionals out there, other Nigerian footballers, learn to invest. Because people keep saying you go you travel, you go to the Saudi Pro League, you earn such a large amount of money. But even what you're earning, I checked what the earning is for regular folks like you and I, is a lot, 2 million euros. But when you compare it to what he would have been earning at the Saudi Pro League, 25 million euros is just night and day. But learn to invest the money. Learn to get your businesses and things intact, so you start making money outside of football. That's something I talked about. And then still talking about transfers, Victor Victor Osimhen. Napoli have rejected a 65 million euro, bid by Galatasaray to sign Victor Osimhen. Now, for me, Victor Osimhen, the advice I'll give to Victor Osimhen is this: whilst it seems good, everything is going well for him at Galatasaray, I would want him to stay put. Don't rush it. You just have 1 year left on your contract with Napoli. There's 2 years left, so by June this year, it will be 1 year to be 6 months. 12 months, and that means you have your destiny in your own hands. So stay patient, stay to the end, of the season with Galatasaray. Hopefully, win the league, and who knows, you could win the Europa League as well. You score 20 plus, almost 30 goals in all competitions at least. And then the world becomes your oyster, because then Napoli no longer would have any stronghold in you. You have 12 months to go. You can negotiate. Other clubs will be interested in you, as opposed to rushing to be in Galatasaray. That's the way I look at it, because Galatasaray at this point in time, seeing that he wants to be with them this time around, could go on to include a ridiculous, buyout clause. Now, so that's my opinion on that. And then going on to talk about, other players that have been doing so well. There's one player I've done a video on. You should go check out the video. That is Stanberg, Noah Adediji Stanberg. Check out that player. He's special. He's a very, very special player. He's someone that you should be on the lookout for, and hopefully he gets to play for Nigeria. And who knows, maybe he comes to the Premier League. And then there's this other guy called Emmanuel Emega. He is eligible to play for Holland and to play for Nigeria as well. He played for Strasbourg at the minute, and he's been on fairly decent form out. Fairly decent form, 8 goals, 2 assists so far this season. So that's a 10-goal contribution in 14 games. So I think that's very, very good. I wonder what your thoughts and opinions are in that regard. So I would say he's been very good. I think it's another one that the Super Eagles selectors should have their eyes on. They should pay close attention to him and see if they can convince him to play. Because for me, once again, like I said, you can never say no to talent, in my opinion. And then also looking at this from Chelsea perspective as well, you have a striking issue. Chelsea does have a striking issue. You have the likes of Jackson struggling. You have Palmer having the burden of creating and scoring goals. And look at the striking market. You're not getting your Koresh this window, rather, you're not getting him. You're not getting Victor Osimhen this window, you're not getting him. So who else can you get? There's a talk about getting Matistel, but is he really a striker? Is he a striker, or is he kind of a winger / striker? No one seems to know his sort of right position or his favored position. So for me, I think Emmanuel Emega is someone that should be looked at. He played for Strasbourg, and for those of you who don't know, Strasbourg is the sister club to, Chelsea, and therefore it would be easy to make a deal for Emmanuel Emega to move from Strasbourg to Chelsea, in my opinion. He's an actual striker. He's got goals. He's got pace. I think he would fit well in the way Enzo Maresca wants to play. So that's my thought with respect to Emmanuel Emega. Now I want to ask you the question: what do you think about Ethan Nwaneri? Do you think he's good enough to be in the Nigerian Super Eagles? I'd like to know. In the chat, you could send me a question. You could send your reply in the comment section and let me know. Do you think he's someone that would be useful in Nigerian Super Eagles? What are your thoughts about it? And are there other names that you think could do something for Nigerian Super Eagles? For Nigerian Super Eagles going into the World Cup qualifiers in March. It's not that far anymore. And then Nathan Taylor, for me, like I said, he's performed really, really well this season. He's done so well. As the interview he did with Omar Katuba, a very good content creator, a nice media personality and journalist as well. He said he's looking forward to playing for Nigeria. Hopefully he's called. He's not someone, and then in his words he says he's not someone that would insist that he must be invited, but he wants his play on the field to show that he actually, deserves that club. And for me, I think he really, really deserves to be invited to the Super Eagles because he's shown that he can not only create, but also score goals. He's shown improvement, from the last time he was invited to the Super Eagles. So I think he's someone that can actually, be very useful for the Super Eagles going forward. And then speaking about other talents, now there's Tyler George. He's 18. He's, I think, a year older than Ethan Nwaneri. He's another player that should be looked at going into this season, going into the World Cup qualifier. Maybe not the first games, but maybe the ones after those ones, he should be, looked at as well. And to talk about one player I always seem to talk about when I'm on the channel is Irehi Parabo. He will be heading out. He played last game for Beyond Limits. I think it was yesterday, and he'll be heading to Lillestrøm in Norway. For me, I think that's a good move for him. I've talked about it before. That's a good move for him, in my opinion, because it means he would be getting game time and he can develop. And Lillestrøm, that's where what's his name now used to play. That is Akko Adams. Akko Adams used to play for Lillestrøm, and that's where he moved from Lillestrøm to Montpellier, and now he's gone to Sevilla. So speaking about Akko Adams, he's joined Sevilla. I've talked about that in the previous video. He joined Sevilla, and the way I look at it, he will be their out and out number 9 and number 1 striker, number 1 striking, option. And that what that means for Kelechi Iheanacho is either of two things. It means he either would be rocking the bench or he would have to look for another club, because I don't think the way the coach has been speaking, the Sevilla coach has been speaking, it sounds like he's not going to be having much game time. So for me, I think Kelechi Iheanacho should begin to look for another club to play for, in my opinion. So he doesn't sort of waste away there. Although I think at this point he's just regressing, in my opinion. But you must make that money. You must try to keep others all together. Hopefully, maybe he could. I think there's some clubs in the Premier League interested in Kelechi Iheanacho's signature. Let's see how that goes. If he's able to secure that move there, that could work a trade for him, in my opinion. So let's see how that turns out. Now, done with talking about what's his face, not talking about Kelechi Iheanacho. I'll go back to talking about Eric Chale's midfield and how the likes of Raphael Onyedika could prove to be very, 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 very useful, to the team, because he has the legs, he can pass the ball, he has that eye for goal, which is really, really important, going into a Chale system. And I've mentioned the player that can fit that system to a team, in my opinion, would be Ebenezer Akinsimero for sure, Chrysanthus Uche, Raphael Onyedika, maybe Fisayo the Dele Bashiru could be another name, for that midfield. Maybe he could be another name. But for me, the 3 names right now for me, Raphael Onyedika, Chrysanthus Uche, and Ebenezer Akinsimero should be the names, for the midfield. Then there's something I want to talk about first, but before I talk about, I say please subscribe to the channel, click on subscription bells and know to be notified when I go on live like this or post a pre-recorded video on the channel. So let's go into it. Now we've heard about the AFCON draws. I've talked about it before. The teams we have on there. So we've got Tunisia, we've got Tanzania, and I think that's a group that they should be able to qualify from, even top. But if you've watched the last African Cup of Nations, one thing you would have realized is there are no easy teams in the African Cup of Nations anymore. There are no easy teams anymore. Every team is a tough team, it's a tough competition, because everyone now is trying to gain access to the best available talent for them, whether it's talent that's available within their shores or going out to see if they can get any dual nationals to, switch their allegiance to their particular country. So you never can tell who you're coming up against. And like I said, African coaches are really, really evolving, really evolving. So it's not going to be, that easy, for the Super Eagles. But I have confidence they should be able, to qualify for the next round of the African Cup of Nations when the competition starts later on in the year. So let me ask this question as well. What names would you want to see in that first squad list for Eric Jail? What are the names you would want to see? Who would you want to see? Let me see that in the chat. You can drop the comments in the chat and let us know. Whilst we're here, I want to say this. I've said it before. The very moment this channel hits 1,000 subscribers, I'll be doing a giveaway here for my subscribers on the channel. And I said 5 people will be getting 10,000 naira each. So that would be helpful to someone, just to show my appreciation for your support, because I've had people subscribing and people liking and commenting. Don't worry, I really see the comments, I read the comments, and once I'll have a stream where I just respond to those comments. Now, speaking about comments, there's one comment I want to respond to, and that is a comment made about Noah Stenberg. Noah Stenberg. I've talked about the place for gang. I did a video on the player, and one of my, loyal subscribers that always commenting on the channel, he said something that the Belgian FA are interested in the player. They've identified him as one of the key players or key targets of people they want to have in the team. Now, I understand that concern, but if the Nigerian FA, that is the Nigerian Football Federation, the NFF, are really serious to get this player, they will get him. They will get him. There's no argument about it. They will get him. Because I've seen situations where you have players who are willing to play for the Nigerian Super Eagles, but the NFF are the ones who have sort of slept off, who have dragged their feet and have wasted time, and then the player ends up playing for another country. So it doesn't matter if an European country wants to play, in my opinion. If the NFF is serious about it, he will play for Nigeria. Because when you have the likes of Tolu Arokodare, Arokodare, sorry, in his ear, speaking with him every day, it'll be easy to convince him. But Arokodare can only do so much if the NFF are refusing to show full intention, to get the kid to play. In the reaction video I did, if you've watched that video, if you haven't watched the video, once the stream is over, you can go and check out that video. He is a special talent. I can't talk about his play enough. He's a special talent, skill, ability, speed, the kind of players that would get people off their seat. And those are the kind of players that the Nigerian Super Eagles, that Nigerian football fans, those are the kind of players that we like. They can get up our feet, they can do something unpredictable, they can be exciting, on the ball. Those are the kind of players that, we want to see. And those are the kind of players I think the NFF should do their utmost to get. You can't just wait for the crumbs off the table of, Belgium or England, because you'll never get the top talent that way. You never get the top talent that way, because by the time you sit down, you've waited, you want them to come to you. Other countries are taking steps and being intentional about getting these players, to play for them. Like I said, every good thing in this world, in this life, there are multiple people that want them. If you want a new job, if there's a job you're wanting to get, there are several people that want to get that job as well. And if you just wait to say, oh, let's see if this job is really mine, it's going to come to me. By the time you finish wasting your time waiting and waiting, someone else would have got that job. Same thing, if there's a lady you like, there's someone you like, you want to get into a relationship with, you say, oh, I'll wait. If she's really supposed to be with me, she'll end up with me. By the time you're done, can get without any more coach, she's gone. So that's it. Every good thing in life, you always have multiple people that desire, that thing, that person. So you can't just sit on your hands and say, "Oh, okay, if he's really serious to play for us, then he will play for then he would come of his own volition to play for you." And one thing you have to know is that these players sometimes over the years they've had their minds wired, with information that they've been given. Oh, Nigeria's not so good. The NFF are not that serious about things. They're not organized, and then sometimes they're confused, and you just allow them to stay that way, and you're not trying to get them. Then you're joking. Then you're not ready to win. And the question I always ask people is, I said, have a look at Morocco. The same thing. How are they able to get their dual nationals to commit to playing for them? How are they able to do that? How are they able to do that? It's because they show intention. They show real intention from the onset, from the get-go. That is how they are able to get these players to commit to playing for them. It's nothing different. It's nothing different. Now, I want to get back to something I just mentioned. I mentioned in this video as well. And please, as I'm speaking, you can let me know your comments in the comment section. You can drop in the chat, and let's have a discussion. Let me know your opinion, because I'm happy that you like to hear me speak and when you speak as well. But what will really make my day is to know what you think. Is what your thoughts and opinions are. I would like to know that as well. Now, for me, I want to ask this: what does or what would a move for Tolu Arokoda mean? Would that mean he's now on top of the pile to be invited to the Super Eagles? Of course, we know we have Osimhen and we have Victor Boniface. Those are the top two. So a move to Benfica for Arokodare, what would that mean? Would that mean that he's like the next striker right under Osimhen and Boniface? Or do you think he still needs to do more? For me, my opinion, I think right now, even without going to Benfica, I think after Victor Osimhen and Victor Boniface, who else? Who is the other striker really? Who is the other striker? Maybe you have a George Lenikena, that's a good name. But in terms of form this season, I think Tolu Arokodare is ahead of every other person apart from Victor Boniface and Victor Osimhen, in my opinion. So, but what do you think about the move to Benfica? Do you even think it's a good move? Like, do you think it's a good move? With all due respect to Genk, do you think it's a good move for Tolu to be going to Benfica, or should you wait for a move to be a Bundesliga or a move to the Premier League? What are your thoughts on it? Now, for me, these are my thoughts. I think progression is always important. It's the main thing, that you're actually progressing. Now, if you was leaving Belgium to go to, maybe, with all due respect, to Romanian league, then no. To go to the Czech league, then no. But he's leaving Belgium supposedly because I've not heard of an official bid, but I've just heard about an interest from Benfica for a signature. So, but at this point, for me, I see it as progress. He's leaving Belgium, where I think would probably be like the sixth or fifth league in Europe, and then he's heading to Benfica, that's in the Portuguese league, that I see as between the third and the fourth. I would say the fourth league in Europe, and that's where it's heading. So I think for me that would be a good move for him. And if he did move there and still maintains his form, I think that just cements him as the third, at least the third choice striker for the Nigerian Super Eagles. And that would even then mean it would be a close competition between him and Victor Boniface for that second striker spot. And why I keep saying second striker spot is because Eric Chell possibly would opt to go for a two-man attack, a two-man strike up a partnership. So that opens up that for him. Now, I want to speak about some other thing. One thing as well, the goalkeeping situation. What are your thoughts on the goalkeeping situation? What are your thoughts on the goalkeeping situation? Because for me, Wabali, number one. But the number two, not really Maduka Okoye that is out. I think he'll be out of it with the way things have gone, with the whole, betting allegation and things like that. That may mean at the end of the day he may not be able to play football for some time. So he may be suspended. So that means the Super Eagles have to look for a goalkeeper. So which goalkeeper do you think would be the next person to come up there? So for me, there is Noah Atubulu, plays for Frankfurt. I think he could be a good name as well to look at. And then I just want to quickly check. Um, there's this player, and there's Ato Okonkwo as well. Ato Okonkwo that plays for Wrexham could be another choice. But there's Goodswille Nyema as the son of Vincent Nyema. For me, that just makes me feel old that Vincent Nyema now has a son that's old enough to be a goalkeeper for the Nigerian Super Eagles, though he's still very, very young. Plays for Lille, I think. I think he signed his first professional contract. So what do you think about having Godswill, Nyema at Nigeria's number 2 because he has found Wabale or Noah Atubulu, or if you're not going for, if you wouldn't go for either of these two, which other goalkeeper would you be looking at? Who is the other person you would look at? Francis Zoho, I mean, that is out of the question. He's out of it. He has to do something phenomenal, something out of this world for me to be considered, for a call up to the Super Eagles, in my opinion. So, which goalkeeper do you think should be considered, in your opinion? Which goalkeeper should be considered? And then if you're just joining, I'll be talking about standout players and then also talking about other issues. I'm talking about players that stood out yesterday in the Champions League. You had, for me, Ethan Nwaneri stood out for Arsenal, man of the match performance, got a stunning strike. If you haven't seen that goal, you should go check out that goal. You should go check out that goal. Stunning strike, whip the ball in, bent it, second post, far post, brilliant goal. And for me, what I've been saying is I want to know your thoughts if you're just joining in. Should it be someone that should be part of the Nigerian Super Eagles going forward? What do you think? And then talking about the Club Bruce striker as well. I mean, midfielder as well. Raphael Onyedika is another special player I think would be key to Eric Chell's football. He's already been invited. He's already been capped. But for me, I think he deserves to have more playing time because I don't think he's had, sufficient playing time, in my opinion. So he's someone I'm looking at as well. I think he should be coming in. And then Victor Latunji, he's gone off the boil a bit. For me, he's gone off the boil a bit. It was his team that lost, against Nathan Taylor by Leverkusen. So he's gone off the boil a bit. But for me, I still think he has a lot to offer the Nigerian Super Eagles. And he should be someone that the NFF continues to keep their eyes on with a view to invite him to join the Super Eagles, in my opinion. And once again, like I said, he is, he has just one nationality, he's Nigerian only. And so that will make things easier. So you need to have a look at him, in my opinion. And then also, whilst you're here, I want to say this. There'll be a video coming on the channel where I'll be sort of reacting to a Nigerian Wonder Kid I've talked about severally on this channel, and I want you to keep your eyes peeled for that video. And that'll be Onyebuchi Obasi, a wonderful player. I'm talking about him in more depth as well, so keep your eyes peeled. And then there's a transfer talk show that'll be coming up. I'll be talking about various transfers, that involve players of Nigerian origin that can play for Nigerian Super Eagles. So like Akko Adams, there are other names as well. I'm talking about Bruno Onyemachi, about his move. I'm talking about him as well. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. And then there are other live shows coming on here as well. So please do subscribe to the channel so you do not miss out on that as well. But also as well, keep your eyes peeled on this channel because I'll be doing massive giveaways on this channel as the channel continues to grow. Of course, I really want to say thank you for all you've done, the support you've shown me so far for the channel. And then I also want to say this may be take it as a word of encouragement or as a piece of advice or just something that could inspire you one way or the other. And that is this. If there's something you want to do, whether it's a business, whether it's a job you want to apply for, whether you want to start content creation as well, you want to have a YouTube channel, you want to have a channel on X, or whatever you want to do, you want to start a business, go ahead and do it. Don't feel like you don't belong, because sometimes we feel like we don't belong in certain places. You feel like this job is too big for me. You feel like this having a channel is too big for me. How can I do it? Your voice is always important. Your voice is always important. Your opinion is important. Your perspective on things is important as well. No one can do what you can do the way you can do it. I started this channel. Sometimes I look at it and I feel like, and I will feel discouraged. I said, oh, this channel is not growing. But I kept on doing videos and pushing and pushing. It's not where I wish it would be, but gradually, thanks to you guys, it's growing gradually. It's growing gradually. It's growing gradually. So that's what I want to say. Whatever you want to do, that you feel you can do, just go on and try to do it. Now, I want to ask this question to Arsenal fans. Arsenal fans, where are you? Come on here. Ethan Nwaneri, Bukayo Saka. Would you sell Bukayo Saka to Real Madrid, for instance? And then Ethan Nwaneri replaces him? If an offer comes from Real Madrid, would you be okay saying, okay, we can sell Bukayo Saka and Ethan Nwaneri is the guy to replace him? What are your thoughts about that? Let me know. I would like to know. I would like to know what your thoughts are, in that regard. And then as well, if you just join in, and when you be watching as well, what do you think about Victor Osimhen? The bid by Galatasaray for Victor Osimhen to stay at Galatasaray, the permanent transfer. Do you think it would be a good move for him? For me, I don't think so. For me, I think staying in Galatasaray would just be the last resort. No other bids coming in, no offers coming from the Premier League, no offers coming from even the Bundesliga, no offers coming from those top clubs or from PSG. Then you just say, okay, what can I do? I stay in Turkey. But if you're having offers coming from the Premier League, who knows, Chelsea, Manchester United, or coming from the Bundesliga, maybe Bayern Munich or Bayern Leverkusen, who knows? Can you imagine Victor Osimhen and Victor Boniface pairing up Bayern Leverkusen? That would be absolute bedlam. It would be absolute bedlam. The headlines would be madness. Victor Square, that would be madness. Or for Bayern Munich, I think it will be better for him to wait it out and not be in a rush, because right now he's getting to a point where he will be having all the power, because this is the mistake he made the last time. He allowed himself to be, would I say, bamboozled, or to be cajoled and influenced by Napoli, and then he signed the contract extension, and then when it was time for him to make a move, it was now very difficult. Now, Galatasaray, don't rush it. They love you there. You're scoring goals for them. You're scoring goals in the Europa League. You're scoring goals in the Turkish Super League. Good. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Stay. Don't rush. Stay till the end of the season. Then everything will be in your hands, because you'll be left only 12 months on your contract with Napoli. Then you have lots of offers coming to you, because then you'll be very affordable for clubs to buy. And then you can go to any league you want to go to. And just like the advice or what I said concerning Victor Boniface is, you have to be careful, because if you still want to achieve certain glory in European football, that's what I'm saying. Depends on what the player wants. If he wants to achieve a certain level of European glory, then he should be mindful of the club you go to. You should be mindful of the club you go to. Who knows? Maybe next season, Man City could be looking for a striker. Who knows? Liverpool could be looking for a striker because Mo Salah will believe in. Mo Salah will be leaving next season, maybe to, maybe to Al Nassr or Al Hilal. He could be moving, and that would then open up a spot for you, Liverpool, and then Chelsea. Who knows with the whole striking issues? There could be an opening there as well. Manchester United, there could be an opening there as well because Zexi and Hoylund could be sold. There could be an opening there for you as well. And who knows? Real Madrid could come with a crazy bid for Erling Haaland, and then the space could be opened up for you at Man City. Who knows? The opportunities that could be available. So, Victor Boniface, Victor Osimhen, don't rush this. Take your time. Take your time. So, can you tell me, in your opinion, who was the best who was the best Nigerian performer yesterday in the Champions League? Who was the best one for you? Who was the best one for you? For me, the best for me, was Ethan Nwaneri. Why? He only nicked it from, Raphael Onyedika, and that's because he actually won. His team actually won. His performances have been sublime, and he actually won. So that's why he nicks it for me. But Raphael Onyedika keeps impressing me each time I watch him. I wonder what your thoughts are about him. Keeps impressing me. And if you would like me to do a video where I just talk about Raphael Onyedika, analyze his game, talk about his strengths and his weaknesses, what he brings to the team, and what he can bring to the Nigerian Super Eagles if he has that regular, game time, what he can bring. Let me know in the comment section. And like this video if you like to see more videos like this, because it does help with the algorithm as well. Share this video so more people can actually, see it. And also watch other videos. There are other videos on the channel that I've done, like I've talked about Emmanuel Lenega. There's a video on him that I've reacted to. Noah Sternberg is on the channel as well, so you could have a look at that as well. And don't forget to comment. Like, football is an objective sport. I mean, subjective sport. We all have our subjective opinions. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. And I read the comments. I go in the comments and read them, and I'll try to respond to them as well live on here. And I also want to ask if you would like to see a show where I just respond to your comments. Let me know in the comment section as well. And one thing I wanted to say, and I always say this, I want to give back. If you are the proprietor of a football club, that is a grassroots football club, a grassroots football academy in Nigeria, let me know in the comment section. And also, if you know anyone who is a proprietor of a grassroots academy in Nigeria, let me know in the comment section there as well, so I'll know how I would collaborate and work with you. Because I'm thinking about, wouldn't it be nice to have an award for the best academy player in Nigeria? An award for the best academy player in Nigeria, where they'll have some, some cash prizes, some nice boots and things like that, to really show that they've really been, appreciated as well. Wouldn't that be nice? That's something to think about doing as well. So let me know in the comment section. Like I said, if you're one of those good people that are doing amazing things for the sports. And I just want to say, if you're not following the TTC League, please follow it. I've seen a couple of things that excite me. Beyond Limits is one of them. Bagada FC is one of them as well. So watch the league, follow them, support them as well, and then we will, and that will see Nigerian football really grow. Because, like I've said it before, the creating positive narrative around Nigerian grassroots football, around the Nigerian domestic football, will really go a long way to, improving how the world sees the league, how the perspective of the world of the league around the world, and it will also help to boost the confidence of people who are in the league, and also help with dragging sponsors to the league. So at this point, I've come to the end of today's show. Thank everyone who's been up here, who's shown your support, and have stayed with from start to finish. It's been amazing having you on here. And also want to say this: if you would like to be a panelist on the shows, or you want to come up here and join me to have discussions on different topics, just let me know as well. It could be about the Premier League, it could be about Nigerian Super Eagles, because there are several shows that will be coming on the channel. Just let me know in the comment section, and we'll get a talking. Kelvin, I've not seen you today. If you were here today, I will think about dropping the link in the chat so we could have a discussion. But just let me know, and I'll give you the various schedules available, and then you can join me and have a discussion. So at this point, I would like to say thanks for watching. Do have a splendid rest of your day. Stay well and stay blessed.